I just want to be at a point where when you see it, you know it's me. And when it's not about knowing about art, I think the biggest deterrence from people who see art even on a daily basis or what I'm doing, they think, well, I don't know anything about art. So they just don't even step in that direction. And it's not about your knowledge of it. We were used to that. So it's about what you feel. So if I could put it anywhere and people feel my work, I would appreciate that. But also to among people who do art, it would be nice if they knew I had game.
First of all, I'd like to introduce this gentleman here, Frederick, talented painter, talented individual. Seems like a quite the intellect. I've always been wanting to talk to you, like face to face, have a conversation, and I figured why not do it in a space that we can just kind of sit back and have coffee and. I know it's not Folgers Crystals, as I mentioned earlier, but, we can have this kind of feeling. We back home someplace, right? Yep. Cheers to you. Right on. Let me give me a little sip real quick. Where are you from originally?
I was born in Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I know Memphis.
Oh, I bet you do.
Wow.
Music and
yeah, absolutely.
And so I was only born there.
Okay.
Maybe a couple months after.
Okay.
I moved to Michigan.
Okay.
My father's working in the trucking factory in Pontiac.
So Detroit then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's when it was like Michigan was Detroit was kicking because that's when that's when they were doing all the manufacturing before everything closed back down and stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And so how long did you stay in Michigan?
Until middle school.
Okay.
And then so my father, he was at the time working in the factory.
Okay.
But he was also taking courses at University of Detroit because he was wanting to get into med school. So he ended up going to med school, Michigan State. So we moved there for a while. And then after a while, he had residency in Kalamazoo. And then after that, he went into the military. And
wow.
So he went in when he was like 19 and he went out again.
Okay.
And so he went just back in the military.
I see.
And then this time as a doctor. So he was working.
So he went as a doctor in some. Yeah. Okay. After he got his graduate and stuff. Wow. So what a driven man.
Yeah. So he ended up going to the Naval Medical Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, which is right outside of DC.
Okay.
So then we moved there.
Oh, okay. I see. Wow.
And I've been in that area ever since. Until the time I left for Hungary.
I see. Interesting. So your dad was like, he was a military man to start off with, and then he decided to be a civilian, raise his kid.
Yeah, he's interesting. I mean, he basically, a lot of it, I think, was to avoid farming. He grew up on a farm.
Okay. All right. Where's he from originally then?
Well, from Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee too.
My family's from Tennessee.
Oh, wow. So, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. And you have siblings?
No.
Okay, just you. Oh man, you a little spoiled. Were you spoiled growing up, or?
More or less. I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a brother sister, so I can't make the comparison.
Sure.
But
yeah.
From what people tell me.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 6, so yeah,
wow.
yeah, and they were divorced and married, so I got steps that just keep going. So yeah, wow. Were you doing art in school?
Art was always the base of what I did. Like a backbone. It was always that.
Okay.
So it's just more like what else I was doing besides that.
Okay. So you were like doodling in school. How did you start? You was like making portraits in school?
No, I used to. My father's pretty good at drawing.
Oh, okay.
So we used to draw together when I was like 5.
Oh, wow.
And so we would just draw. And it would always frustrate me because I could never draw as good as him. And I used to get angry and upset and all that. And, one thing he told me, because he died a few years ago. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Before he died, somehow, I forgot how I learned it, but he used to take the drawings that I would make with him. Mm-hmm. He used to take them to, the school where he was, medical school, because the other students wanted to see the drawings, and medical students. So they were just like,
I love
share
it.
what's more. And I had no idea about any of this.
When you graduated like high school, did you have plans of like staying where you were? I mean, obviously you didn't because we're here in Budapest now, but
Well, yeah, because at that time, my primary interest was animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Did you have animals growing up? Quite a few?
Well, I grew up with asthma, so it wasn't easy.
Okay.
So I think I had everything except a dog, a cat. I think I had a bird for like a couple weeks, but that wasn't going to work.
And so then out of high school, what was life? Did you go to college or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to George Mason University. So that's in Fairfax, which is
okay.
outside.
Oh, okay. And your major there, was it art?
No, it was actually biology. And I was taking a lot of English courses. I was enjoying those. And also at the time, I was working in an animal hospital.
Okay. Preparing to be a vet.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's experience. Yeah.
I see. And why English courses? What was your fascination with?
Oh, wow. I think that growing up, I really wasn't that good at math, and I was stronger in English. But there was a point where I was told that I'm pretty good at this, and I should study this. And I started taking advanced courses and placement and all these different things. And it was one of those things where I think, it's a part of our culture. It's often considered that, we're not too prone to excelling in English.
Sure.
My father, since he's one of these people who, did this and his doctor, and he also wrote a poetry book.
Your father did?
Yeah, that was a big deal at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I was taught, to be an example.
Okay.
And so it was one of these things where I felt, okay, I'm pretty good at this. I should stick with it. And that's why.
Oh, okay. Obviously, your father meant quite a bit to you. You guys were obviously very close growing up. Was your mother in your life as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was her life? Were they married?
Yeah, they were.
Okay. So
I was fortunate like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic, when you have both parents in the house. I think that's a beautiful thing. Was your dad really strong in motivating you to do the things that you wanted to do, or did he have what was his energy like with you?
He really cared about me wanting to do with whatever I loved, technically. I think the only thing I kind of wish he had done differently, he really didn't instill a killer instinct in me.
Okay.
So, I mean, he did grow up playing baseball, even got like a college scholarship for it and everything like that. So he was good at it, but he was more like, as long as you tried your best at what you play and everything like that, and that matters more. And so
yeah,
I think it made me more effort driven.
Okay.
So I was really good at starting stuff, really good at doing the work. But as far as just sealing the deal and finishing off.
And was he that type of individual, or quite the opposite of that?
He could finish.
Was he driven? Yeah.
He was driven, but he wasn't maniacal about it.
Okay.
He just,
okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
He really didn't want to put his standards on me in that way.
Oh, I see.
So I felt as though he really he wanted me to be better off than he was.
I see.
So he grew up on a farm outside Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a baby when he was brought into the house that was on the land. So ever since he could walk around, he was doing something. So he was always working on it. And he was really good at it. But he just wanted more. He had other fascinations. My grandfather, it was more about my father didn't want to hurt his feelings. Because if someone has been, doing this and trying to provide for people, I mean, he basically bought the land. It had trees. He cleared it himself. He grew everything on it. He got the animals and he did all this
Your
stuff.
grandfather.
Yeah.
I understand.
And he worked a full-time job at night. So it's kind of like he's doing all this. So to say you don't want to do that, he didn't want to insult him.
I see.
Because he knew this was part of, how he was able to survive growing up.
Yeah.
One thing that was difficult for me as far as culturally in a way, because going to Michigan at that young of age, it was like outside my home is the North, but inside is the South. I was this sort of weird mixture of things. So whenever I would speak, it was considered odd in a way by the people around me.
Gotcha.
And then because a lot of the people around me grew up in the North, I mean, even Black people. And then when I got to, DC, that area, even more questions.
Sure.
And then when I, so I carried it with me as I collected these things.
Obviously not too far removed from your grandfather.
Yeah.
Slavery, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So do you know what plantation?
No, I don't know that. I think that was a big part of what my father was trying to do the last 10 years of his life.
Okay.
Was trying to connect the land he was on, because there were slaves there and there was a plantation, to the possible relatives we had. And just trying to put those pieces together.
That's commendable, man. It really is. I was over at the Mom Park in Budapest. I'm trying to get into this restaurant that has a little night thing happen. I think it's I forget the name of the restaurant. I tried to get in. They wouldn't let me in. And I don't think it was like anything other than it was really busy in there. I mean, okay, I'm an outsider as well, but it was busy in there. And then there was another gentleman who also couldn't get in. When we were having conversations, he's talking to me. He says, "Where are you from?" So I'm from U.S. Like, "Oh, really? What part?" It's like, "I'm from L.A." He's like, "Oh, that's great. Oh, wow." He says, "So, but you're Black, right?" So yeah. So where's your ancestors from? And I was like, "Well, I really don't know." And he was like, "I mean, really, where are they from? You can tell me." I was like, "No, I don't have any idea. I mean, I'm from California. My grandparents were from Alabama." He really didn't take my answers being serious and I realized, wow, he really doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I had to break it down with him. I says, "Look, my name is Brown. That's my last name. That name came from the last family, not the only family, the last family that owned us."
Yeah. Yep.
"I get it." He says, "I never even thought about that." How did you end up here?
I was going to a liberal arts school, which tends to introduce you or requires that you take other type of non-Western cultures and different things. They make you go outside of your sphere. So you can't just study one thing and that's it.
Okay.
And, but I love that anyway. And so I did take some art courses.
Okay.
And at the time, I would say from the end of high school to the beginning of college, I was really into comic strip art. I drew comics, wrote them for the school paper through high school.
Wow.
I was running around trying to get some sort of syndication in universities, trying to get that going. And I wasn't having much luck with it. I mean, I got into a few papers, but it wasn't enough to be picked up. At the time, while doing that, I still had this interest in art that I was carrying. I had worked on this graphic novel. And at the time I was working on it, graphic novel was not a term that was universally known. It was still only within the comic, society knew that. I made it like in collage, and it was on these poster boards. It could be displayed. So this was an extended study project I was able to get credit in school for it. I had an advisor. Now, my advisor was really cool because I also took film. Like, imagine Tarantino being your film teacher.
Oh, wow.
In a way. So it's not, we know about classic stuff, but she also, does this. So she see how I frame characters and do these different things. And while that was going on, we also had a university gallery. And there's a curator for that. And who was in the art department. And so I approached him with it. He said, wow, this is something. He said, okay, you want to talk to this other guy. His name was David Chung. Have you heard of Aeon Flux?
I haven't.
That Aeon Flux was an animation that was put out by MTV.
Okay.
And then it became a movie with Charlize Theron in it, maybe 10 years later or whatever. This guy, they're brothers. So the guy, Peter Chung, did that. So he go to Japan, they'll give him what he wants. He's that good. So he does, he's serious. I met him. He saw the work and said, okay, you're coming to my course. It was a high level course. I hadn't taken anything in between. He said, you're just coming here. So I ended up going there. I don't know. I think, part of it had to do with the girl from Stuttgart, which is like the South.
I know some.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so she told me about her favorite artist, this guy named August McKay. And so I got to know who that was. Once I looked into, this thing called German Expressionism, I started, seeing other people I liked, and I decided to take a course in it. I thought, there's something about these artists that I kind of felt an inner connection to.
Interesting.
Because a lot of them were not originally artists. They weren't, and it wasn't until their adulthood they wanted to pursue that. Some were architects, some were studied theology and law, and they focused more on the form and the color and the feelings that brought out rather than the composition.
So you were influenced by these German artists?
Yes. And so I decided, maybe I should go to school there. And It was a really hard decision because I had just maybe half a year taken my MCATs. Yeah, because I stopped pursuing veterinary medicine. And I think that when you work in an environment like that, I almost felt like I had done that. By that time, I was a technician. I could do almost everything I want to an animal besides, what doctors could do. And I would talk to doctors. I would know their own personal struggles and what they went through and this and that. So I felt like, in a way, I lived experience vicariously or through these people anyway. So, and it was always, and to me, medicine's medicine. I grew up with asthma. I was in the hospital quite a bit. And I tend to hang on to minutia, small things. I'm big about details in a way. I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. And then, but when I took that,
were you concerned about your father's blessing on it? Did you think about,
oh no,
or it didn't matter because your dad was like behind you 100%?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I told him I wanted, he was kind of, I almost think he was disappointed in a way. My father had a very romantic idea of vets.
Okay.
And how, because when he was in medical school, they told him, you see those guys over there? They're veterinary students. They work twice as hard as you. They got to learn all this other stuff on how to do anything, so you think you got it rough. So he took that with him. And he said, wow, he said, I never thought about that. And he said, I think you'd be good at this. And I mean, if you have any questions, ask me, blah, blah, blah. But, he...
Very supportive.
Yeah, he was.
Right on.
And so, but after taking that exam, and then I started getting these other artists and the other work I was doing, I was thinking, I really like storytelling. I really like the feeling I get from doing that. And it was more about which one could I do that would have a greater influence on people? What could I bring more to the world being,
And how old were you at this point?
Mid-20s.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And you were thinking like that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't really have, because it took me a long time to get through school because I studied a lot of different stuff. I had to stop in between the work.
Okay.
And so it took longer than it should have. But in that time, like you said, I was older. I was able to, make these.
Right. When was it that you bought the ticket? Like, what was that transition of actually saying, I'm coming over, or was there?
I bought the ticket in the middle of the course because not only was I taking German art, I was taking German literature. And I was actually taking language for a while.
Okay.
But they made me stop. I couldn't do that because I had to continue with Spanish, which I started.
I see.
So I was absorbing myself in a way already.
You were preparing yourself to.
Yeah.
You knew you were leaving at some point.
When I got the ticket, of course. Yeah. And of course, my, my art history teacher who, taught German Expressionism. Yeah. So he was just told me what to look out for, what to do,
Hey man, don't gloss over this too fast now, because this is your first trip, like going out of the country, right?
I didn't. I didn't.
You didn't think about that, huh?
I mean, of course, I've been to Canada because it's right there, but I know what you mean.
What was the experience like, actually? Like, I
mean, the first foreign country, across the Atlantic, it was Iceland. Had to go to Reykjavik on the plane. It stopped over.
Oh, I see.
I lay over in Iceland.
Gotcha.
I'm there looking and I'm experiencing, I'm looking out the windows, I'm looking at everything.
Awesome.
And it's like, wow, this is nice, and it's kind of like the moon there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, went to Germany. And I just know the first time I was about to speak German, and there's these two guys, and they're sitting down and on a bench. And I go up to them to ask, where's the bank? And so I say to the Germans, where's the bank?
In German.
Yeah, in German. And they looked at me and they kind of smiled. And I didn't realize why. And that's because the German word for bank is almost the German word for bench.
For bench?
Bench.
Oh, wow.
What they were sitting on when I asked them.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of... and I didn't know that till I got back home and was told about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was nice to be somewhere where even though they spoke German, they would try to speak English and I'll try to speak German and we met halfway. And I really felt, and yeah, so that was really nice to experience. But I spent quite a bit of time going to museums and looking at certain pieces and certain things, going to schools. And I drew quite a bit.
How long did you stay?
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Okay. Gotcha.
I guess that first feeling of freedom.
Okay.
I didn't feel trapped in the U.S. I wouldn't say that, but it's just a different feeling.
Okay.
Being there and moving around and interacting with people who were like, completely different from you. As far as, background and things. And it was just, it was pleasant.
Did you grow up in a multicultural environment?
No. When I lived on the medical school campus, the college campus, my mother and I, we all lived there. And there were people from everywhere.
Okay.
And I went to a kindergarten where there were people from everywhere. So when I was 5 or 6 and still
experienced it then. Yeah. But in between that,
no,
not so much.
Kalamazoo is in Southwest Michigan. It's basically a very large Dutch population. And there I went to a private school, a Catholic school, for about 5 years, the only black male in the school. So I was immediately dumped from one
extreme to the next.
To another one.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
And, and of course they reacted on it too.
Was that hard?
For the first 2 or 3 years, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because you had to not only contend with students, but also teachers.
Interesting.
And we don't tend to, think about it in terms of we're used to giving children a pass for not knowing any better or not being taught. but those adults were children too in the same situation. So
Probably even worse sometimes.
Exactly.
Because they know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still do. I understand. I came up in a multicultural environment for a majority of my childhood growing up, and that was in the home. So by the time I was, I don't know, maybe 15, I was shocked when somebody told me that people may not like me because of the color of my skin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I thought that was the craziest thing I ever heard. It's like, because my brother that was in my home, he was my stepmother, which is his mom, is white. So, and, you know, for me, that was my brother. I didn't think about anything racially, and we had this multicultural environment. So those kind of things, I almost like was kind of mad that I wasn't brought aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't given that information.
You know what I mean?
I almost think I'm very party with this. Sometimes I think it's good. Sometimes I think it's not good. You know, when you're given all this information at a young age, before people even do anything to you, and then you have this backlog you can go to. You know, because when I was in school and I was the only one there, I was told all the time why. It wasn't the multiculturalism in that way that had an effect on me. It was more the behavior. A lot of these kids were much more violent than what I'm used to.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
You know, where I was in school, we'd have a fight maybe once every couple months.
I see.
Where there would be like 3-4 fights a day.
But was it culturally driven or just kids doing kid things?
I never saw as culturally driven.
Okay.
Although it did, when you're that old, you do tend to wonder how come some people get attention more than others.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think if you dig deeper into it, it probably was in a way culture driven, but.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is all so interesting, man. You spent 2 weeks in Germany. You came back home. When did you decide that you needed to be traveling again and only spending more time here? Or was there an opportunity that presented itself to allow?
Well, okay, what happened was, I can't tell you why I did this. It was a bit odd, but when I was applying to these art schools in Germany, you know, I made my own portfolio. I kind of said, you know, oh, I love this about art and German art and this and that. And I made my portfolio based on what I thought they might want to see. And also, too, and I didn't know at the time that it's harder being a foreigner outside the EU and getting into art school because of EU agreements and stuff. So all these other countries, you know, the students get a more closer in line to actually doing it.
I see.
You know, I didn't know any of that. And so that didn't work out. And at the time, I was working in a cafe.
In
the U.S.
Yeah,
still working in a cafe. And a colleague of mine I worked with was Hungarian. And she was a school teacher. And
like born in Hungary.
Yeah, exactly. She was a teacher in Miskolc. And there were teachers in her school that would come that were native English speakers. So she knew how I could do that if I wanted to go somewhere.
Interesting.
Yes, and then
the lights clicked off.
Yeah, and it was this very absurd thought came in my head. Everyone finds it funny.
Do tell.
And I don't even, I might have told you, might have forgotten. I don't know. But I said, in my mind, I thought, okay, Hungary's not that far from Germany. It can't be that different. I most certainly did.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
So I went through the process of getting into this program and getting the requirements I needed so I could teach in Hungary.
Oh, gotcha. So they obviously approved you, and then you Got on another plane.
Yeah.
Bought your ticket.
And it wasn't so much of a leap just because, you did have to pay to be on the program and
Okay.
do these things.
Oh,
so,
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah.
It was a way to get kids out of college.
Okay.
Over.
I see.
Uh-huh.
But you took advantage of it.
I did.
And then found yourself in Budapest.
Well, actually, no. I was in the countryside for half a year.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
What? I'm curious. What town?
Hatvan.
I've never even heard about it. Wait a minute. How do you spell it?
Hatvan. It's 60.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Because it's 60 kilometers from the capital.
That's right. Oh, you know what? I do know that town.
Oh, you had to go through there.
I
The
have.
train
I was
station's
just there.
It's the whole corridor.
No, because I just remembered Hatvan means 60. Because it's. Now I'm showing my story. I don't know Hungarian. I will probably never know Hungarian. Who knows? But I just learned Hatvan meant 60.
Oh, wow.
And so I remember that town because of that. That's right. Yeah. So that's the town you were in.
Yeah.
Wow. For 6 months, you said half a year. And then you eventually came to Budapest at some point. Wow.
Yeah, I left the program. I found a job at an international school, and then I went there.
Gotcha. That's about the time I probably met you then.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yes. Wow. Different roads we've taken and we're here, It's amazing, really. When you got here,
Yeah.
did you plan to stay?
No. I have a theory on that.
Happy to hear it.
I tell everyone, if you plan on being here for a year, you're here for 2.
Yeah.
If you plan on being here for 2, you're there for about 3. 3, 5. It just exponentially grows.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They have a way of, and just as you have had enough and are ready to go, something decent happens to make you
stay some more.
you're pulled back in.
Ready to go? Something happens to you?
Yeah.
Makes you stay for more.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So it kept, like that mafia, the Godfather, when I want to leave, they keep pulling me back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously things kept pulling you back in.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that you would go back home? Or did you think, I want to explore other places? Or did you even try to explore other places? For me, I tried to. One of the places I wanted to spend more time at was actually the continent of Africa. I actually wanted to hit some of those countries. I did go to South Africa. I went to Soweto. I went to Joburg. I went to, Cape Town. But I wanted to go to Uganda. I wanted to go to Rwanda. I wanted to kind of go to Ghana, I wanted to see all these places and just kind of like do what I did here. Just go there, sit there for at least 6 months, to a year, and just, be on the ground floor, see what's going on there, see how I can, any situation I'm in, I'm always trying to think about contributing, get my skill sets, learn some things. And that's still kind of on the agenda, so to speak. But are there places that you have,
I was fortunate just because I would say maybe a few years after I went, like maybe in 2007 or 2008, I went to Japan for a few months.
You did?
Yeah. To work. So
nice.
That's a nice thing about teaching. You can always just move there and physically be there. It forces you to be on the ground.
Oh, okay.
So I've always was fascinated with that, and I wanted to know what was going on with that culture.
I told you my brother lives there. Did I tell you that?
No. Nice.
24 years now, I think he's been there. Yeah.
My parents lived there for about 6 years.
Really?
So because I followed station there working.
Gotcha.
And so,
wow.
I heard this stuff anyway. So it was,
okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, it actually incredible learning experience.
Okay.
one day I'd like to go back.
Yeah.
I'd like to, yeah, it's sort of anywhere I feel like go to visit for, I don't know, days on end or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I leave a part of myself there.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's
Yeah,
like I need to go back and look at myself or connect with that part of me that was there when I left.
I don't like to call this an interview or anything. I like to call it like it's a conversation, you know? I mean, truly, because it's two people talking. In our case, two Black people from America that came here to Europe and got a chance to do, you know, live this lifestyle that, you know, some people dream about, some people are too scared to do, some people, you know, I mean, I think about like American news and what people watch, you know, whether it be the far left, the far right, or in the middle, and their mindset about what's happening out here. They're thinking, "Oh man, you're that close to Ukraine and Hungary? Isn't that you know, all these different elements that
If they know where Hungary is, if they know
exactly,
Ukraine's right, yeah,
exactly. I was not ever a person who was like you were talking about English. I was actually good at math. Was terrible at everything else. And I thought I was dumb for most of my life. Really thought I was just a dumb kid, really. I was kept back, you know, they tried to keep me back a couple of times. I was in the special class, all these different things growing up, man. And was never diagnosed with anything, like never told anything. And then when I got old enough to realize and start. I had one person in my life that was also a Black man. He was a couple years older than me, but he was the first guy that I ever seen in the music business that was actually people were catering to him. He closed $1 million deal with Paisley Park, which is Prince's label, for an artist that he got on and signed on Prince's label. And he used to do his own contracts, and he was just one of the smartest guys I'd ever met. And he was from some small town in California, you know, no big deal and stuff, but just one of the clever guys. And when I met him, I was like, I got to cling to this. I mean, I've never seen something like this before. Mind you, I come from a music background, you know, based on the history of my dad and stuff. So when I saw that and when I finally earned his trust to be able to hang out with him, I learned everything I could possibly learn. And I absorbed that, and I just started picking up books all of a sudden. I go to Barnes & Noble or whatever it was back then, was look through, and I'd read stuff. And I wasn't a great reader initially because I realized I was dyslexic. I didn't know that. Nobody told me that's the problem. And so then I started reading, and it was really difficult for me to comprehend and read, but I just kept making myself do it over and over because I really wanted to learn now. I had something I wanted to be good at. And so I just focused on that, got better and better, and eventually that led into me just realizing, saying, well, I'm not dumb. I'm not. You know, I'm actually, you know,
so the information you gathered, you realized yourself. No one had to tell you. You're not dumb.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that was the you know, and I think a lot of folks just in life never get an opportunity to really put themselves in a different space, to be enlightened, you know, to be like this space. When I go back home every time, and I've been traveling Europe since the 90s, early 90s. I used to have guys telling me before I came, it's like, Ray, you're the type of guy that needs to be like traveling, and you need to go to Europe. You should be going. I was like, why? You know, they would specifically say me just behind whatever energy they felt about me and stuff. He said, you just need to do that because you would just find the right connection there. And I was like, really? And I always had it in my mind, and it wasn't just Europe. I just wanted to travel the world anyway, but Europe kind of spoke to me a bit differently when I first landed. UK was the first place I landed to. And I said, forget it. I just want to pack up my things and go. So, we both had different roads, but we kind of found ourselves destination in the same space.
I think it was before a time where it became fashionable.
Right. Yeah.
I think when we were doing that, yes, it was nice if you could afford it to send your kid to Europe for a few weeks in the summer before university to get to know life or whatever, that's a thing to do. But as far as going there to actually live and
to live, exactly. No vacation, none of this, actually, and picking like the Central or Eastern Europe to actually do that space in. I mean, some people say, really? But me, it was like, yeah, that's like, I learned something a long time ago from a gentleman who he said to me that, Ray, when you go into a space where you're one of one, right? When you walk into a room and you're one of one, you have everyone's attention. It's what you do with that moment that matters, right? And I was like, and that really stuck with me. I was like, oh, wow. He says, you have their attention. It's what you do with it.
I'm sure you have countless stories and known countless people who have just kind of bumped their heads against the wall trying to figure out, how do I get that attention?
Yeah.
Just, books written about it. Of course, now, it's still a major issue, get their attention, right now, that's the whole concept behind a lot of social media.
Yeah.
With a YouTube or anything, it's about getting their attention. But just have the ability to walk into a room. Yeah, I'm fortunate in the fact that I think it's different because I don't know, because LA has their own scene. East and West are different as far as the way they do things, their style. You have these people called Washingtonians, and they are not the people living in Washington necessarily. It's a certain group of people who live throughout that area, who look at things a certain way, who tend to be overly ambitious and have these certain social standards. And so I could walk into a room and get attention before I left the U.S., which helped. The only difference was I was doing it here and I necessarily wanted it. It's like in the U.S., I can turn it on and off. But here, the power just stays on.
It's like you're absolutely running faucet.
Anywhere you go.
Nothing you can do.
Exactly.
I always looked at these travel shows, like you see these two people or one person traveling throughout Europe, and they're talking about what to look out for, this, that, or whatever, and all this. And I'm thinking, it doesn't apply to me, man. It doesn't apply because I can't, if you're white and you're going through a place, they may not know you're not from there until you open your mouth.
That's true. Very true.
When I go through,
case in point here. Yes, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a big difference. It's a different process
if
involved.
You're quiet, you might be able to be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Escape judgment.
Yeah.
As long as you just keep your mouth shut.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had on a scale to 1 to 10, I've had the best experiences, knocking 9, I would say 8, 9. And, just traveling Europe, traveling in non-Black environments per se. And I've enjoyed and continue to enjoy the process of that. I believe that some of us are put on earth to just be put in situations to meet others, to I don't want to say change minds or the whole process of that, but just be
definitely influence.
Yeah,
you're like an influencer before there was a name for it.
So if you're going to talk in biblical terms, the salt of the earth or the pepper of the earth, however you want to slice it, But I think and so I enjoy seeing you here, and doing what you do. I mean, I didn't know for a long time. I knew about your teaching because we had, I remember that in my head when we talked occasionally. You said you were a teacher. I didn't know about your art until much after that. And to see you in these public places, really just comfortably in this space, doing your art by yourself in a space like in Central Europe. It's incredible. I think it's you should be commended for that. And the world should know about it. And that's one of the reasons why I think this podcast is here. This is why, this is the whole purpose of it. So, how can people find your art? Like where can they, let's get the business out of the way. Where can they see your art?
Oh, I have a website.
You do have a website. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
I have a web. I mean, what do you call it? Okay.
www.
Yeah, exactly. You can say www.Frederick, and what's that line in the middle called?
Dash.
There you go. HADDOX.com.
HADDOX. I'll make sure it's in the notes as well. Also, what if you were to categorize? I don't want to say categorize.
I know.
What's the word that we should say to what type of art? What type of expression is it in your art?
Energy. I try to capture energy on a canvas. That's basically it. I do that by making lines. They go in various directions. Often I will put forms together that are of different colors. And the lines, tend to go in similar directions.
Give me a story of someone, a situation that has occurred based around your art that has happened with you, like the interactions of the locals.
It happens more when people are alone. I mean, it does, and if they're there to converse. So if there's a little business meeting, it's not quite the same. But it's almost as though they take in the atmosphere. Just very similar to being a musician and you're creating music people can talk to and relax to. And it's very easy. I used to feel bad for musicians. I was thinking, well, how can you just sit here and talk? This person's playing. They're doing all this work. This is great, But then I realized after painting for a while, well, their conversation wouldn't be the same if it weren't for that music. That background, adds the ambiance to what they're talking about. So I tend to think my art has that similar effect, but I've been told that too. So I wouldn't have known unless I was told. And there are people who ask to take pictures. There are people who take video. So, I do get quite a bit of that. I think that the part that surprises me is the online presence, because it isn't like I have a lot of followers, a lot of people, not yet anyway. It's growing, it's organic, it's moving. But, it's strange to be out somewhere and you're out somewhere, you're watching, a concert or watching some performer, and a person comes up to you. And they don't come up to you so I think it's maybe an advantage of not being super big, but they act like they know me. I've never seen them before. It's just like, should I know you, but I'll say that and they just say, yeah, and they talk about how they like the art, how they appreciate the art. And then I remember one time a guy came up to me and said, he didn't say his name. He didn't even say hello. He said, have you seen your work on a 3D viewer? on the 3D glasses? And I looked at him and I was like, huh? No, he said, yeah, you really need to do that because the way it would make your art look, you wouldn't believe it. He just started talking to me about it.
Interesting.
And then recently, because I sometimes do these open mic concerts where I will paint on a stage while musicians are playing.
Mm.
And I had one just this last weekend. And I met a guy from that, who was a performer, this Scottish musician. And we were backstage by ourselves, and he was just talking to me about the art. And he just gave me this story about how he had a shoulder dislocation maybe a year ago or whatever. And he said, I couldn't do anything. It was horrible. And he said, I started watching your videos and I just felt the need to make art. And he was telling me about the type of art he was doing and everything. And he said, and I watched other things too, but you really, really helped out in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I'm just like, wow.
Wow. I know you have family.
Yeah.
Are your anyone in your family following your lead when it comes to art?
Well, I have 2 children and they're good at art, but they don't want to do it for a living. And I'm like, fine. They still like my work. They're very, I think they're proud of me. They tell me that, but it's nice. My son told me over the weekend, it was just before I was about to go up on stage, and actually, he told me that a friend of his from a different school he met, and he said that the teacher in their class was talking, I guess it's our class or whatever, was, she showed a painting and started talking about it. And it was one of my paintings.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, this teacher, our teacher showed us a Haddox painting. I thought, okay. And
he didn't know that.
No, he didn't. And then he showed him the painting. And then he knew it was one of mine. He's like, whoa.
That's something.
It's like, Dad, they're teaching your art in schools.
That's a beautiful moment right there.
I was like, huh?
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, I'm about to paint. And I'm looking at, huh?
That's awesome, brother. Wow. Yeah, that's nice.
So it's things you have, the things you have no idea what's going on, and you have it. I think that really is what makes it special. And what's amazing about it is it could be happening now. We don't know. All we can do is just be thankful for what we have here and our ability to express ourselves.
Better to give than receive.
Yes.
Right on, man.
Yep.
Wow.
Serve. That's right.
So the last question I have for you, if you could swing a wand around, put yourself in a position, whether it be your art or related to your art, or it doesn't have to be about your art, but what would you like to have happen in your creative space, or just in your space in general? Do you want to, have your art hanging up in every gallery throughout Budapest? Do you want I don't even want to put anything in your head, really. Just kind of let you.
I mean, there is a point, just like you mentioned about travel, where there are other places I have to move my art to. So I'm in the process of trying to do that now. Right now, some of the things that are happening now are what I would like, that I've been told that, when they see art, they know it's mine when they see it. They don't have to think about it. That's always something that, and it would be nice to be in galleries. It would be nice to have more than one gallerist dealer in different countries. It would be nice to, go to Tokyo, go back and, have exhibit there, or, it's plenty of places here in Milan, Paris, New York, LA, it'd be nice to, and I'm not looking to be the guy. I don't think that's necessary because, like you said, there is something that you are serving in the community by what you do. And I think I can achieve that without having to be, I just want to be at a point where when you see, it's me. And when it's not about knowing about art, I think the biggest deterrence from people who see art even on a daily basis or what I'm doing, they think, well, I don't know anything about art. So they just don't even step in that direction. And it's not about your knowledge of it. We were used to that. So it's about what you feel. So if I could put it anywhere and people feel my work, I would appreciate that. But also to among people who do art, it would be nice if they knew I had game.
I love it.
He knows what he's doing. This guy actually is one of us. Yeah.
I love it, man. We're going to end it on that note. Frederick.
Yes.
Thanks, man. Thank you for the interview, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Truly. I enjoyed this very much, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well.
Pleasure. About time.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.